Coming up next on Get Caught in a Net.
Get caught in a net with a net for your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with a net. It's your intellectual radio show, here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with a net.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your hosts, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Great afternoon, guys. Great afternoon. Welcome. Come on, guys. Come on in. It's your girl, Annette Harris. I am the host of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, and I am so glad to be with you guys on today. I always see, if you see my face, around noon on a Wednesday, Central Standard Time, of course, it's time for you to come on and get caught in the net. I'm excited, as always. I love these segments. I love our new segments, of course, that would highlight individuals. And today's session is not going to be anything short of that. But first, before I get started, let me acknowledge the Lord in prayer. Lord, I thank you for this wonderful day that you've blessed us to see. We thank you for all that you've done, what you're going to do, and how you're going to bless us even through this segment and everything we go to say and do. In Jesus' name we pray. And the opening scripture is the first part of Hosea 4:6, and it states, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee." I can't forget my opening prayer. I can't forget my opening scripture, because that is what has, that is the basis of this show. And everything we go to say and do, I must acknowledge the Lord in everything. Look, guys, when you come in, I am on my Facebook page, Annette Get Caught in a Net. So I'm asking those of you, when you come into it, please go ahead and click the share button. Go ahead, throw up the heart emoji, the thumbs up, the care emoji as well. We would appreciate it. And you can also tag individuals into this live feed that we have. Because when you do that, you're letting others know that we're on. Some are possibly taking their lunch breaks on today, so we want them to jump on in and listen to this segment. We're also on my Instagram page live now as well. So if you go to Instagram and type in Get Caught in a Net, you should be able to hear and see us live there as well. At the end of this segment on today, we're going to upload the entire live session, the recorded session, onto my YouTube channel, which is Get Caught in a Net Incorporated. So I'm so glad that you've considered to join us on today. And I see you guys are coming in already. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my wonderful, wonderful guest on today. I'm so glad. I was just talking to her a few minutes ago, and I was saying that I'm so glad that I have made my acquaintance with her. Let's see, let me read a little bit of her bio. Beautiful, beautiful young woman of God, and she is out here doing the thing, okay? Sharvette Mitchell works with small businesses to enable them to build their marketing strategy so that they generate more revenue with an amazing brand. She does this in a couple of ways by focusing on their visibility, marketing, and branding through one-on-one consulting, group coaching programs based on her trademark framework, the Platform Builder, speaking and events. Sharvette is a graduate of Virginia Commonwealth University with a Bachelor of Science in Marketing. She brings to the table 25 years past experience in corporate America in the field of training and development and consumer compliance for a global bank. She has been featured in various publications such as AARP. Hey, I'm an AARP member. Woo-hoo. Huffington Post, Hope for Women Magazine, CEO Magazine, Rescue a CEO Blog, and Sister Sense Magazine. She has also been seen on CBS Monday Motivation. Now she's out east. So she's in the Virginia area, as we already stated. So that's their network there. She's also been featured on CBS 6 Virginia this morning. The CVV, or is it CW? CW network. I'm so sorry. That's cable. She has a long list of information that she has done, but I'm going to ask her to come from our virtual waiting room and come on in so that everyone can see her beautiful face. She's a beautiful.
Hello, Annette. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here with you and all of your viewers and all of the listeners.
Yes. I'm so glad that you have consented to join us. Many of you have probably followed. I was actually a guest on her show the other month, and it was an exciting time. And I have learned so much from this young woman in a short amount of time. But I'm grateful nonetheless. And so you're here, so I'm excited. So I'm going to jump right in so we can kind of get to talking about you and what you do, which I think is phenomenal. If you wouldn't mind for me, go ahead and talk to my viewers about who you are. Maybe a little bit of your bio, but maybe from a personal standpoint, talk to us about who Sharvette Mitchell is.
Yeah. So again, thank you so much for inviting me to your show. And so I am a daughter, a sister, a friend, born in Milledgeville, Georgia, but have spent the majority of my life in Virginia. I always like to give Georgia a shout out and props there. But went to Virginia Commonwealth University here in Virginia, and spent 25 years in corporate America. So I worked for a bank for over 25 years and started a business on the side, a web design business, actually. That's how all of this kind of got started, sitting at a girlfriend's kitchen table. Her name is Edwinette Moses. and figured out that I knew how to solve a problem that business owners had, which was around their website. And that's actually how Mitchell Productions got started. So I've since moved into more of the consulting space. But that is how really it got started, sitting at a girlfriend's kitchen table. And I think a lot of people probably who have started businesses, it just, you might have not even thought that you were going to go into business, but some type of need or something arose that you figured out how to do that maybe other people don't know how to do. And then you found yourself in business. And so about it'll be 5 years in February where I walked away from a full-time job. And so I'm a full-time entrepreneur and have been full-time since February 2nd, 2018. And I'm just really incredibly proud of all of the clients that I get to work with. And they're doing really transformational things and impacting the world. And so that is just a little bit about me.
Love it. I love it. You know what? As you were talking about how you kind of happened up on the business, helping someone else out.
Yeah.
How did you even come up with the name? Did you just figure, okay, this is me, I'm just going to use my name? Or how did you come about with that?
Yeah, actually. So I was like, what's the easiest way for me to do this? So when everything I read back then at that time was like, okay, if you use your name, you're kind of good with not stepping on other people's toes. And the production came about. I've always been kind of a creative type of person. And so I knew that, okay, well, I'm producing at the time web design. I was producing, websites. And so I felt like Mitchell Productions was a really neat thing to do. And then not knowing that I would later go and get into radio and internet radio, which is kind of a production type of thing. And then really helping people create their platforms. And we produce conferences and I produce photo shoots. And so it really actually kind of just kept going. But initially it was the simplest thing to do. It was the simplest and easiest way to get into business and not use someone else's name. And so that's how that happened.
Oh, wow. Now that's amazing that you said that, because that's why, like with my company, I played a little bit off of my name because I didn't want to step on anyone else's toes. So that's a different, take on it. But yeah, I like that. And it's like, when you say the Sharvette, like your show, the Sharvette Mitchell show, it just adds a little,
Yes.
But, it makes people notice, really.
Absolutely.
Sharvette Mitchell, Okay. All right. Well, great. Thanks for answering that question. And again, thanks for introducing yourself personally to us. You guys that are on here, what I'm going to say to you today is that if you have any questions or comments for my guests, please go ahead and throw it into whether you're here on Instagram or on Facebook. Please throw it in there. We will, interact with you. And if we have time to ask her on today, we will do that. If not, I'm sure if she wouldn't mind, she'd probably go back and look at anything that she's tagged in to answer any questions for you on today. But I'm telling you, you do not want to go anywhere on this. You want to tag as many individuals in as possible. I was looking at, this is not even on my list of questions, but I was looking at one of your YouTube videos where you were talking about branding and marketing and how we kind of have been forced into, using social media and different things like that. Can you talk about that a little bit more for us? Why does it seem we've been forced into doing that to even make a name for ourselves or to be recognized for whatever whatever our products are or our services are?
Yeah. So at the root of marketing, it's all about getting in front of your ideal customer, your ideal clients, to be able to present what you have to offer, and then for them to have the opportunity to purchase from you. So historically and traditionally and in the past, marketing has, looked pretty much like it does today. It's just different vehicles. So in the past, traditionally, you only had like traditional radio, traditional TV, traditional magazine ads. What are you doing when you purchase that type of advertising? You are getting in front of their audience. That's what they're selling you, is access to their audience. Social media has come about, and that's where the audience is. So that's why it's incredibly important to incorporate social media marketing, because at the root of it, you're trying to get access to an audience so that they can hear and see about your business. And social media just happens to be where people are. Now, there are some businesses who aren't doing a lot on social media and are still successful. So it just depends on what type of business you have. But for most small businesses starting up, social media is one of the easiest places to get your foot in the door.
Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense. It really does. So I guess we shouldn't call like some of those businesses that are not doing anything like, old and ancient or dinosaurs, because it would depend upon what they are offering.
It would absolutely. I'll give you a prime example. I remember back when I was doing web design services, I had a client who was an attorney. And prior to that point, she didn't need a website because all of her business was referral based. So she was always getting referrals, and that's how she was handling her business. But she made a shift in her career, and she was shifting more into leadership and executive coaching and counseling. And in that space, there was an expectation from the consumer that she would have marketing. And so there is just kind of an example of some businesses, maybe if they're very heavily referral based, perhaps you might not need it, but in other arenas, there's an expectation that people can find you online.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. I like that response. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
that. I see some of you guys coming in, and I do want to recognize those that are hopping on. I see you, Cousin Gregory. I appreciate you for coming in. I see you, Janice. Janice, I just appreciate her so much. She's just one of the main ones that will hop on real quick and share. So again, guys, if you're coming in and you haven't shared already, please click that share button. I always tell you it costs you nothing. It doesn't cost you anything to share. Just go ahead and click it. You're, again, pushing this out for us. And, someone is probably looking for this type of information on today. And you don't want to, let's share the love. All right. If we wouldn't mind doing that for us on today. All right. So, we're talking to this, I call her, I've given her so many different names in my mind: marketing strategist, marketing consultant, marketing guru. But Mitchell, my guest on today. And so I actually created this one particular segment, and we're talking today about it's more than just business. There's a lot more to Miss Sharvette Mitchell than what meets the eye. It's more to her business, actually. One thing that I really, really admire about you, and I haven't known you very long, but I admire the fact that you are so willing to help somebody else. You have your business, and it's thriving, and it's doing it, great things for so many people. But, too often times, and you can probably, understand this, we don't push and encourage each other. We're not there for each other, or what we can offer to help them, to further their business or what have you. We don't do that a whole lot, especially in the African American community. So I want to give you your flowers and tell you that I appreciate that about you. You're helping people you don't even know, you just met them, what have you. Now, with that in mind, the unselfish attitude that you have, or outlook on life that you have, and how you're so willing to help others further them. When did all of this become a passion for you? The helping others and, kind of getting out of, you're not one of the crabs in the bucket, trying to pull them down,
Right.
Stuff. When did that become a passion for you?
Yeah, I think really early on, I realized as I was helping clients, and they would kind of say, well, what's next? What's the next thing to do? I think that my radio show was a prime example, of that I feature. Sometimes we get some celebrities and high names. And then a lot of times it's like everyday people that you might not get to encounter. And so I always looked for, well, how can I help push my customers out there? So that's kind of really where I think the initial passion started. And then, so when the Sharvette Mitchell radio show started, it was featuring just clients. You had to be a client. But then I was getting pulled in so many different requests. And so I said, let me figure out how else I can do this and certainly broaden the net pun intended, there. But here's the thing, what happens when you support and when you push someone else, you get further, you go further. And so I really have a firm belief that every seed that I sow yields a harvest. And so if I'm featuring you on my show and you get business or you get exposure, then guess what? Your audience, a part of your audience tuned in as well. So then that's a win-win for me, because there's some new people that are now finding out about me. So oftentimes when you do have that mentality of supporting or helping promote others, it's going to come back on you. It's going to come back to you.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. I love that. So your hand is open. It's not closed.
Right. Right.
And that's contagious too. Which is a good thing. Now, if I look up Sharvette Mitchell, when I hear you talk about yourself or your brand or your business, you mainly focus on women. That's kind of like, how you started. Why women?
Yeah, a few lucky men get sprinkled in on the one-on-one consulting. However, what I've found is that women like community. And so some of the things that I've created, like my Facebook group or hosting conferences, I'm going into my 7th conference this year, or my group coaching, it's something about the connectivity of women together that women need and they gravitate to maybe more so than men. And so it's not that, we don't want to work with men. It's not that at all. But some of the things that I produce really around that community space, women crave and really excel a lot of women in that community space. And so it just felt like a better blend to kind of say, hey, my 12-month platform builder program is only for women. And because the cohort, they really bond, support each other, form sponsorships and partnerships and friendships. And it just more naturally felt like it went well with women.
Yeah. I can see that. And I can totally understand. We are probably more nurturers, and that would come naturally to us, to bond. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So guys, you heard what she said. She, she does focus on women, but she does help out. I love what she said. She sprinkles some men in there.
A few lucky men.
Lucky men. So don't turn this off and thinking, oh, she's only talking to females, because she can help you as well. And I'm tagging you guys in as well. I see you, Michelle. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you for joining us on today. Again, we're talking to marketing consultant Sharvette Mitchell, and she's oh my gosh, she wears so many different hats, and has accomplished so much. And wait, you said it's coming on 5 years since you started your own?
Full-time, yes.
Full-time.
Yes.
All right, because she came out of she came out of business industry, guys, and she did her own thing. I just love that, just says, I can do this, I can do this. So let me hop on to my next question here. Did you ever doubt yourself while you were starting up this business? What were some of the maybe challenges or things that you had? First, let's start with, did you ever doubt yourself?
I would say doubts come because the thing about being a small business owner and entrepreneur is that you sell your products and services, and you have to keep selling them. Like you have to keep selling them. You have to keep getting customers. And so, from time to time, I feel like all of us kind of have doubts that come in and out, but I would say they don't linger and they don't stay, because what I have learned to do is look at track records, look at the impacts customers are getting. So sometimes you have to, if you do have doubts come up, and if I did have doubts come up, then it's talking myself off the ledge and reminding myself, here's the impact of the work that you do and results that customers are seeing. And so keep moving. But yeah, I feel like definitely we all have doubts that come from time to time.
Yeah. And it's important how we deal with those. And like you said, you motivate yourself to keep moving. because we're not, we're not robots.
Right.
Not, individuals who are not going to have those second guesses, maybe, or what. And a lot of times we will self-doubt, we're second guess ourselves
Uh-huh.
in a minute. I know when I started this radio show, I kept asking the Lord every week, are you sure that's what you want me to do?
And he said, keep going, right?
He said, keep going.
Yeah.
He would give me, examples of why I had to keep going.
Yeah.
I think that probably scared me more than actually doing. Okay, all right. So yeah, for about a month straight, I would ask him, and so I have to stop and just do what he told me to do. And we just celebrated 9 years with this radio.
Oh, wonderful. And I think that's such a great point. And I love that longevity, like the longevity you have, the longevity I have, is that sometimes people want like microwave, like overnight success, or what they deem as overnight success. However, it typically takes like 10 years for an overnight success. The people that we see that we feel like, oh, I'm just getting on their radar, I'm just seeing them. They've been in this. They've been in the vineyard working, right? And what we're doing, and this is for viewers and listeners as well, the things that we do, the processes that we do over and over prepare us for the next space, don't you? Because like you said, God told you keep going, because really this is setting you up for whatever is next. So when they call you for Good Morning America, you'll know how to show up. You won't be trying to figure out which camera to look at, because you've done this. You'll know which camera to look at.
Oh, you better say that, Miss Mitchell. Come on now. Yes. But it's true. It is true. It will set you up, and God knows what he's doing. He sees the bigger picture,
Yeah.
Scriptures, all things work together. We may not know ourselves, how this is going to pan out or what have you, but just if he's telling you to do it, just keep going in that vein. And he'll work everything out for you. It will definitely come together. All right. Well, thank you for being honest with us about talking about the doubting and all of that. Yeah. Can you talk to us about maybe some of the things positively or negatively that has impacted your organization even through the pandemic? What maybe some things that you kind of encountered when the pandemic happened, because we all know, oh God, it affected everybody, affected the entire world. So
yeah,
negative or positive impact did the pandemic have on your organization?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, the majority of what the services that are provided were provided online. And so as opposed to maybe a brick and mortar, we do have office space, but as opposed to a brick and mortar location, there wasn't the initial impact of, hey, we cannot actually deliver services anymore. So we were already positioned to deliver services online. However, as I mentioned, I host conferences. And so my conference is one of the big highlights of the year's revenue generating. It, helps sets up for the next year. And so here we are in this pandemic, and, I was teetering, kind of like I see people around me, like canceling events and doing all that. And when the pandemic, if you remember the pandemic, we went on shutdown like March. My conference is like the first weekend in November. Mm-hmm. So I remember kind of like the initial pandemic shutdown. We're like, oh, this is, 2 weeks, or this is like, we didn't know what we were getting into. So, but then as time went on and on, long story short, we ended up having a conference that year in November. Fewer people came, but it was still an amazing experience, and had a conference the following year. I'm technically still in the pandemic. So there were impacts, I would say, for our live events. We were able to still, again, service clients. But yeah, there was definitely some anxious moments, and really trying to like, what is the best decision to make for clients? And so, we figured out, hey, people that aren't comfortable, they're not going to come. People that are comfortable will come. And so, I would say definitely the live events had the biggest impact for us.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's good. Because so many people were hit.
Yeah.
In a bad way, whether it's a business or company, organization, whatever, and then some Some unfortunately had just started new businesses,
Yeah.
when the pandemic hit, and many couldn't recover. So I'm glad that you were able to continue on, in using the different tools that you had to continue on. So wow, that's great. That's great. Were there any challenges or, throughout this time, because I'm not sure how easy it was for you to come out of the business sector to go into your personal or your own business, your own, I can't say small business. It's not a small business. But were there any challenges that you faced personally while making this transition?
So the transition, and I'm actually writing about this in the next book that we have coming out. I call it, my chapter is called The Exit Strategy, because I've really never talked about like what I did to actually exit corporate America. And so I would say the transition felt pretty smooth to me because I'd already been working my business on the side, had already had some branding going, already had customers, things of that nature. So it was, okay, what if I can give like 100% of my time to this? What would this look like? I would say from challenges, if there were internal fears, I tried, number one, from a challenge, not to manage other people's fears about it. So that would be one challenge that I would say. Sometimes when we do things, we might be like in a good space and then we start sharing it and other people are like, oh, is this the right time? Should you do? And so then you start kind of guessing like, wait a minute, is this the right? Well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Or maybe, so I would say one challenge is managing other people's fears. Around it. The second challenge I would say is sometimes when you are shifting, moving and growing, perhaps the group of friends or the set of acquaintances that you start with may not be who kind of pans out and stays along the way. So learning and knowing that may come. One other challenge, and kind of the last challenge I would say, so I started hosting my conferences before I actually left corporate America. But what I always found so interesting and something that I had to manage, I would say as a challenge is, I'm on social media, I have Facebook groups and I'm doing videos and all of that, and always like pouring and giving content. And it was always so very interesting and challenging at the beginning to see people like in my local area kind of, consuming the content. And then it's like, hey, we have a conference and they don't purchase a ticket, but yet you see them fly to Atlanta for an event, or you see them fly to Ohio for an event. And you kind of say, okay, that's interesting. So I would say initially, like challenge of just managing what your expectations are around how other people behave and how other people, act, but you being kind of grounded in what you have to offer and knowing that the customers that are meant for you, the conference guests that are meant for you, the listeners and viewers that are meant for you and that are assigned to you, they will gravitate to you and to focus on that. So,
yeah. Oh, I like that point of managing, other folks basically doubts of you or whatever. The one way that I do that is I don't tell you anything until I actually do it.
Bingo. If I say it, by the time I say it's done, the ink is dried on the contract. Like, I'm not one of those people out saying, oh, I got something coming. Y'all just wait. I got something. No, the ink is already dry on the contract.
I love it. I love it. And you have to have that mentality.
Yeah.
Maybe unfortunate, but you do have to have that mentality, because everybody's not for you. They don't want, we already talked about the crabs in the bucket, they don't want to really see you succeed and do what you need to do. We're all out here doing our thing or whatever. We may not be doing the exact same thing. I'm not a marketing consultant. I'm not a marketing strategist like you are, but I'm over here doing my thing. You're doing your thing, and it's okay. To have the various different things to do. So let me go back over here to I see you guys coming in on Facebook. Hey, Jolanda, I see you. She says she's loving this conversation. I appreciate you. Gail Reed Thomas, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Hey, Janetta, I see you. And Karen, Thank you guys for coming in on today. Make sure again that you click that share button for me. If I haven't called your name, just charge it to my head and I'm trying to get over here and have my conversation with my guest as well. But again, if you have any questions or comments for my guest on today, you can go ahead and throw it into the comment section. And I'm sorry, Instagram, I see you over here. Thank you. Mr. Chestnut was on our show last week and we appreciate him for coming in and joining us on this week and listening in. But this is a great conversation. When you talk about marketing, when you talk about branding is so important. Oh my God, rebranding. And I'm sure some of you that are on here, you yourself, or you know of someone that could use these services of this wonderful individual on today. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed if you reach out to her. And I love it. When you go to her, if you go to her YouTube channel, you listen to her videos, one thing that'll, at the end, she'll always say, go on over to SharvetteMitchell.com if you're going to get in contact with me. I love that. I love that branding of her.
Yeah.
And it's where you can find out so much information. She has various products, virtual products. But I'm gonna segue right here and stop myself and ask you to share with everyone where they can find you. And you have you have programs. You also mentioned about the different is it seminars that you do every year?
Conferences. Conferences. We just on a retreat. So yeah.
Okay.
The best way to connect is my main website, which very simply you can get to with my name, SharvetteMitchell.com. If you're watching on the screen, it is right there, right on my signature on Zoom. So SharvetteMitchell.com. My name will get you to the main website for Mitchell Productions. And there you can find out about our one-on-one services, our platform builder program, the radio show, books, events, everything. So SharvetteMitchell.com will get you to the main hub. At the top, you'll see all of our social media connections, and the YouTube channel is linked there. So that's the best place to go.
Oh, I love it. And I think I shared this with you personally, but I know when I was on your show as a guest, I had individuals that reached out to me in the inbox. They were like, oh my goodness, I'm going to reach out to her because they just enjoyed listening to you. You have a lot to offer, and I just love your presentation. And that's all a part of marketing, as well. And that will attract others to you. So again, guys, that's where you can find her. I have on Instagram. Let me type that again on Instagram, but also on Facebook. I have typed in her website, but as you can see what she mentioned on her name on Zoom, you can see it, SharvetteMitchell.com. That is the name of her website. You can go there and you can find out more information. You can sign up with her, to get that business. Plus, when y'all kind of, lingering around a little bit, you all know you're supposed to be doing different things, giving you. And God has blessed us with individuals such as Sharvette that will help us to get our businesses off the ground, to rebrand ourselves as we need to. So don't fall asleep on her. I mean, she's offering.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And, I know we're here in the Midwest area, but she's in Virginia. But again, virtual, has become our friend.
Yes.
So don't get hung up on the fact that she's not in your area. So let's see here. Buddy Gil, I see. Did you slide in here on me? Thank you. I appreciate you. Go ahead and click that share button, guys. Click the share button. Let's see. Make sure I am getting the rest of my questions down because although I want to introduce her to you, my listeners and my viewers, there are, of course, some things I had questions about as well. 2 for 1 on today. Okay, so we talked about your challenges that you faced personally when you were segueing into your new career. Are there any tips? And I know we've asked individuals to go to your website on today, but are there any tips that you can talk with us maybe some short tips or something. You talked with us today about marketing, just in
Yeah.
general, maybe kind of get them to get over to the website to talk to you further. Maybe something.
Yeah,
That's what.
absolutely. So if I had to give a tip and to share, like, what is something that is working right now? And so those that are listening, and this is for businesses, certainly nonprofits, ministries, you all fall in as well. Video is working. So a lot of people, when I say that, there's some anxiousness and some, I don't want to be on the camera. However, all of the social media platforms have given us a easy way to get into that. And so that's with Reels and your Facebook stories. So the tip that I would have for you today is to pull out your cell phone and go to where you can record a video. It's the same place where you can take a picture. And I would encourage you to record. It could be between 30 seconds up to a minute of a tip related to your industry. Some type of tip, some type of guidance related to your product or your service or your industry. Now you have that video in your phone. Post it as a reel, and post it as a reel on Instagram. Post it as a reel on your Facebook personal page, business page, and Facebook groups. All three have the reel option. And get started with getting out there and showing your face more to your audience. That helps for that in this online space, that helps people feel like they know, like, and trust you. And people like to do business with those that they know, like, and trust. The other point about reels is that Instagram and Facebook shows that content to more than just the people currently following you. They show it to everyone. So that's one way to get new followers and new connections by creating and doing reels. So that would be my top marketing tip for those that are watching, if they aren't already doing it. And literally, you don't have to dance. Now there's the dances and the TikToks and you don't have to. If you want to choreograph, you can, but literally, I have a blog post on my website about how I batch recorded 40 videos, and literally they are sitting, and I did this in August. So I'll do this like periodically, but I did this in August. There's a reel I posted last night that I'm gonna give y'all the inside scoop. If you're on my page and go look on my page, that video was recorded in August. I'm still posting, and I'm showing so you all can see, like, literally, I'll just record the videos and keep them in my phone. And then you have content that you can share. And so again, that one kind of reel can be on Instagram, 3 different places, in Facebook. Now YouTube has YouTube Shorts. You can throw it there. And if you're on TikTok, you can put it there. So one piece of content, one piece of video content is now spread in multiple places. That is my tip for the day.
Wow. That's awesome though. That's good. Use your resources. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
When you record the video, use your voice, put it out.
Right.
Wow. Okay. That's good stuff right there. And like she said, don't get nervous when she says, to record a video. I think I know a lot of people were like, no, that's not for me. I'm behind the camera or whatever. I don't want to do this. But I think that's key, to get your works, your services, products out. I had a question for you as you were talking, and you mentioned about where to post on Facebook or what have you. So, you have different ones who have their personal page on Facebook, then they have the business page. Do you think that would be good to, if they're trying to really push their business, maybe to just, do those recordings and really post on their business as opposed to their personal page?
So here's my guidance, and certainly disclaimer, follow your Facebook disclaimers and guidelines. However, that piece of content, I would put it everywhere. And here's the thing, your personal page, even though you might say, well, these are family, friends, coworkers, people that go to church, they're not necessarily my customers. However, they are a huge referral base. So your personal page still needs to know what you do. And sometimes people miss that or negate that, and that is a miss. Your personal connections need to know the types of services you offer. Doesn't mean that they're your customer. Some of them may be, but they may refer people to you. And typically people would say, okay, oh, I'm looking for a marketing consultant. Oh, you need to call Sharvette. Literally, that's why I bought the domain name callsharvette.com, which is where people can schedule a consultation. I bought that because people would say, hey, I'm reaching out because so-and-so told me to call Sharvette. Well, the company and the business name is Mitchell Productions. Most people don't talk in company name. They talk in the name of the person. So if they say, hey, I think you need to connect with Sharvette Mitchell, what do? They go Google Sharvette Mitchell or Google Sharvette Mitchell or search for me in Facebook. Your personal page comes up first. So that's why you have to have some business content that's public on the personal page so that people, just even for the referral, and then you can link your business page or refer them to your business page. But in most cases, people as you're starting out. Now, once you get to be a bigger company and people just recognize your company name, that might be, a little bit different. But for most people starting out, they're coming to you. And then that's why you've got to have some stuff on your personal page.
Well, thank you. You answered that question for me.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a question on here. Oh, YouTube Shorts with the question mark. So I don't know, maybe can you talk about YouTube Shorts a little bit? That's from July.
Yeah. So YouTube, I feel like YouTube is making some updates to try to be a little bit more like a social site. YouTube, FYI, those that are watching and listening, they're owned by Google. So YouTube at its core is a search engine. However, I see them trying to incorporate some social things. So this YouTube Shorts is basically reels. It looks like a reel or it looks like a TikTok. And so they're short videos, it can be 10 seconds. I'm not sure what the cap is. I think it's under a minute or so, but it's really them trying to get into this Instagram reel, Facebook reel, and TikTok space because those are videos. So quite honestly, if you're creating it for the other platforms, just throw it there. Plus, that gives your channel some content, because a lot of times people will have YouTube channel and they'll say, I haven't posted a video in so long and my YouTube channel is dead. Well, if you're doing a 10-second reel or 50-second reel, that's something quick to do, you can throw it onto Instagram Shorts. So that's how I would think about using Instagram Shorts, is reposting some of the videos that you're already doing for reels and stories. Just go ahead and throw it over there. They also have a share feature now where you can do a post. And as a matter of fact, I did it for this particular video. And so it's, again, almost kind of, I haven't seen like a true news feed on Instagram, on YouTube, but I feel like something is coming because they've given the option to share a post outside of just a video. So yeah, YouTube is just trying to have more social elements than just being kind of a search engine. Okay.
And I saw that. I got an alert on YouTube that said that Sharvette Mitchell shared the video. It was the promotion for this particular show.
Right.
And I was like, oh, wow, you can do that now.
Right. It's new. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been missing something there. Okay, well, that's good. I hope that answered your question, Jolanda. Oh, she said thank you. All right. I see you on Angie Mims. Thank you for coming in. Angie Mims, I got to give a little shout out to her. She's probably one of the main ones that helped me to get started in the radio broadcast industry.
Awesome.
So she's on, and I believe she's back on radio doing some things herself. So I appreciate you for joining us on today, Angie. Yeah, again, this is some great stuff that you guys should really, really take heed to. Would you mind talking to us? I know you already told us where we can find you. Maybe just a little bit about your is it platform building program?
Yes. So yes, thank you for asking. So I have a 12-month group coaching program. We launched it in January. So we're actually in enrollment now. And the beautiful thing about it is it's really focused on the person that's saying, hey, I want to work on my marketing, my visibility, and my branding, a female entrepreneur. and wants a more cohesive approach. And so there are kind of 6 core areas that we cover over the 12 months. And so first we start off with covering your products and your services, making sure you're priced right, who's your ideal client. Then we get into social media, so your social media strategy and what to do around that social media, your really content marketing. So social media, video marketing, email marketing, that's all included in that. And then we talk about definitely the power of visual branding. And so clients get full brand photo shoots. They come into Virginia, we do the makeup and all of that, and they get like 75 pictures that they can use all throughout all of their branding, all of the stuff that they need. Brand colors, all of that's kind of like covered in that visual branding section. And then we talk about the power of speaking and events. And so speaking as a visibility strategy, how to get in front of new and different audiences, and or hosting events. And that is hosting your own events, or how to leverage attending other people's events and the power that that has, in particular for service-based entrepreneurs, of getting in front of your audience. And then we talk about media. And so that's the 5th kind of prong around the framework is media. And so this will be an example of media attention or a media feature, your radio show, podcast, or even traditional media. And then the 6th and last component is I'm very passionate about making sure people share their transformational stories as leaders or their intellectual property. And so that's when we join forces and we write a book together. And so they come out of the program as a published author. And so this was one of our books. You can see all of our past Platform Builder clients in this cohort are here and on there. And so, yeah, they walk out with product. And so it's a great program, comprehensive program that includes group coaching. It includes one-on-one. It includes curriculum videos that you get lifetime access to, and then a few done-for-you products. So if, with the book, you just write your chapter, we take care of everything else. Or in the photo shoot, you just show up with your hair done and your outfits, and then we take care of everything else. So it's a great combination of those.
Oh, I love it. And thank you for putting this program together. It's very much appreciated. And can you maybe share some of your success stories, maybe with this program that you've had? Yes.
So one of my clients that's currently in the cohort, her name is Dana Wilson. And she helps with Sister Lock. She's a Sister Lock, a natural hair certifier, so she can get you certified and all of that. And she's currently in the program. She did a webinar, and initially the first webinar, just like 4 people showed up, no signups, not really her customer. And working with her in this program, we did one-on-one, and we put an action plan together. Okay, you're going to be doing this with your emails. You're going to be doing this with your social media. And she literally is still in launch, had the next webinar, 20 people showed up. So the first one was 4, no customers signed up for her program. Next one, 20 people showed up. Right now, she has 4 enrollments, full pay enrollments. So she's at like $10,000 because each enrollment is $2,500, and she has a goal of getting a total of 7. So making those adjustments with her email, this webinar strategies. This is the first time she did a webinar. So she hadn't done this before, and it was one of the things I recommended for her. And so that's just one example. Another client from a past cohort, Maria Davis Perrier. And she owns Autism in Black, which is technically a nonprofit, falls in the nonprofit space. And she focuses on autism, children, specifically African-American children that are on the autism spectrum. And she saw a lot of great successes, pandemic, post-pandemic, Black Lives Matter, all of that time period. She got speaking contracts out the Yahoo to come speak to doctors and professionals about how do we handle what's different about telling let me just say it this way, a Caucasian parent that their child has autism versus telling an African-American or person of color. There's different cultural things. So she got saw a lot of success with that in the media and speaking and contracts out the Yahoo. So those are just a couple of successes. And then some people walked out and said, hey, my confidence has changed. This just shifted my confidence. I'm able to show up more. I'm able to stand in the power of the services that I have. And so there are those types of kind of testimonials as well. And there are more that people can see on platformbuilder.biz. So there's about 4 video testimonials and then some other kind of screenshot testimonials of things that people can see on platformbuilder.biz.
Okay. All right. Ooh, we've given y'all a lot on today. My goodness, you have no excuse. I see you, Apostle Dion. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. This has been tremendous on today. I knew it would be. Something that we could all take in and take heed to. You guys, SharvetteMitchell.com. Please make sure you go to her website. You can everything she talked about on today. You can find out how to get in contact with her, how to be a part of her platform building program. And she did say that she's there in registration now. You can sign up, but because I believe it starts in January.
Yes.
She has a lot of great products, guys. Please make sure you take advantage of it.
And I want to thank you because you are a customer. You have purchased products and services from us. So thank you for that.
Yes, and I'm benefiting from it. Thank God. I'm gonna come back with my success story too.
Yes.
Yeah, this has been tremendous. Oh, and I must say a shout out to Catherine Staten, because that's how I was able to make my you. So she has been she was instrumental in it and didn't even know it. So
yes, and Catherine is one of our current platform builder clients. She's actually finishing up this month, so she's been with us since January of earlier this year. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
And, Catherine, she's a go-getter. When she's determined to do something, she is going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like and appreciate too. And it helps to motivate others as well. So this has been great. Is there any thing you want to share with us before we exit on today? Any last minute words you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I would just encourage the audience that what you have to offer, your service, your product, even if you are a nonprofit or a ministry, there is an audience that's waiting for you. They are waiting to hear about what you have to offer. So don't let anything kind of sit on your shoulder to say, no, people don't want my stuff, or people don't want to hear me, or people don't want to push all of that off, in particular, as we slide out of 2022 and go into 2023, your audience is waiting for you. Show up.
I like that. All right.
Yeah.
You said it, guys. Show up. Your audience is waiting. And I know there are recording artists on here. And I see y'all throwing up some hearts over there on IG. Recording artists. So if that's your product, or what have you, and show up. Your audience is waiting on you. All right. This has been great. So much information that we have heard on today. So thank you again for consenting to come to be our guest on today.
Thank you. My honor.
Wonderful information. And say hello to your mom. I feel like I know your mom because she's
hey, Mom.
your live feed so much. You're like, hey, Mom, thanks for joining. I just
yes.
This has been great. So thank you again. We will definitely make our connection again on here on GetcaughtinANet. So I bid you Godspeed and continued blessings on you and your business. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. All right, guys, this has been great. So thank you again so much for joining me on today. I did mention about my guest from last week, Mr. Chestnut. Mr. Chestnut actually stated that he wanted to purchase another book for another one of my books, Surviving a Silent Heartbeat, for someone who was in need. We know that the holiday season is here. And many are still dealing with the death of their loved one or any other major loss in their life. And so while you may have your own book, you may want to give it as a gift to someone else. So we still have that book out. And last week, if you remember, that the way for you to get it we were encouraging you to go ahead and subscribe to Mr. Chestnut's channel. All right. So if you do that, he will let me know who you are, and we will make sure to send out a autographed copy for you of my book, Surviving the Silence Heartbeat. I am grateful because there are so many other things that God is doing with this book. We have been blessed to have our book in DuSable Museum, the African American History Museum here in the Chicago area. I think I'm still pinching myself. I can't believe that it's happening, but God is opening up doors. He's making ways, and of course, we're on Walmart online, Barnes and Noble online. Where else are we? Amazon, of course. That was the first place, Amazon. And then, of course, you can go to my book's website to make sure that you order your book. So we're still pushing and promoting. We have some more speaking engagements coming up this month to end out the year regarding the book. So again, I thank and appreciate you guys. Oh, and I said this last week, thank you guys. When I slashed my book in half, you guys like bought in bulk the other week. We were trying to do a Black Friday sale. So thank you for all of those who purchase books and are just so sweet. Oh, what'd you say, Angie? Miss Sharvette's website looks amazing. Okay, you've already gone over there. That's good. That's good stuff. All right. Thank you for checking out her website already. And as we close on today, guys, remember, please be careful while you're out here during the holiday season. We know, as Ms. Sharvette said earlier, the pandemic is not really over. We know what we're still facing. And when you're gathering with your family and your friends, we want to make sure that you're safe. So whatever you need to do, whatever that looks like for you, wearing your mask, staying safe, we want to share with our families and we want to share with our loved ones, but we still have to be safe in all that we do. All right, so let me see here as I am ending on today. Let me get this together for you because I want you to see what's coming up on next week. All right, guys? So let me play this for you on the next session.
On the next session of Get Caught in a Net.
Get caught in a net with a net.